Oh, look at this. These four men start out the Royal Rumble. Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, and The Miz and Kane start out the Royal Rumble. And Kane with the choke slam on The Miz. And now Randy Orton, RKO on Kane. And here comes Jerry Lynn. And Jerry Lynn gets rid of Jeff Hardy right away. And The Miz gets rid of Jerry Lynn. And now Randy Orton throws out The Miz. And now Kane chokeslams Randy Orton out of the match. And here comes Corey Valentine. And Corey Valentine with the super kick on Kane. And here comes R-Truth. And R-Truth with the lie detector on Corey Valentine. And then the pay dirt on Kane. And here comes Ric Flair. And R-Truth gets rid of Ric Flair right away. And Kane gets rid of R-Truth. And Corey Valentine super kicks Kane out of the match. And here comes Mr. Bones. And now Mr. Bones with the 99 Crusher on Corey Valentine. And here comes Dolph Ziggler. And Dolph Ziggler with the zigzag right away on Mr. Bones. And now Corey Valentine got one. And here comes The Rock. Look at this. Rock bomb to Dolph Ziggler. The Rock bottom. And now Corey Valentine with the super kick. Right to Mr. Bones. And here comes Taz. Look out here. Look at Taz. And he Taz plexes Corey Valentine out of the match. And Mr. Bones gets rid of Taz. And now Dolph Ziggler gets rid of Mr. Bones with authority. And The Rock makes him pay the price. And here comes Chris Benoit. Wait a minute, Chris Benoit with a German suplex on The Rock. And look at Benoit here. And there's the diving headbutt on the People's Champion. And here comes Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho with the enziguri on the back of Chris Benoit's head. And Chris Jericho with the code breaker on The Rock. And here comes Sheamus. And now Sheamus with a bro kick on Chris Jericho. The bro kick. And now The Rock takes Chris Benoit down with a rock bottom. And here comes Rikishi. And Rikishi immediately gets rid of The Rock. And now Rikishi throws out Chris Benoit now. And Sheamus with the bro kick to Rikishi to eliminate him. And Jericho springboard drop kick to Sheamus to eliminate him in the Royal Rumble. And here comes Triple H. And Triple H with the spine buster on Chris Jericho. And Triple H with the pedigree on Chris Jericho. And here comes Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins with a crop stomp on Triple H. And now Jericho gets one. And here comes Edge. Wait a minute. Edge with the Tornado DDT on Seth Rollins. The Tornado DDT. And Edge with the spear. And here comes John Cena. Wait a minute. John Cena. Attitude adjustment to Seth Rollins. And now John Cena's got Edge where he wants him. Another attitude adjustment. And here comes Mick Foley. Wait a minute. Mick Foley got rid of John Cena. And now Mick Foley gets rid of Seth Rollins as well. And Edge gets rid of Mick Foley. And now Chris Jericho. Springboard dropkick to Edge. And now Triple H eliminates Jericho. And here comes Danny Jones. And Triple H has got Danny Jones where he wants him. And hits him with the pedigree. And here comes Albert Jones. And Albert Jones took down Triple H with authority. And now the Jones brothers are double teaming Triple H when it's every man for himself. And Triple H with a double clothesline, taking down Danny and Albert Jones at the same time. And here comes Prince Albert. And now Triple H throws out Danny Jones. And Prince Albert throws out Albert Jones. And now Triple H throws out Prince Albert out of the match. And here comes Lance Cade. And now Triple H with the face buster on Lance Cade. And here comes the Dragon Warrior. Wait a minute. The Dragon Warrior with a vicious clothesline. And now Lance Cade got it. And here comes Tajiri. Wait a minute. Tajiri with the buzzsaw kick on the Dragon Warrior. And now Triple H and Lance Cade going at it. And Triple H nails him with a pedigree. And here comes the Big Show. Wait a minute. The Big Show tosses out Triple H out of the Royal Rumble. And there goes Lance Cade as well. And Big Show just tossed Tajiri out. And the Big Show gets eliminated by the Dragon Warrior. with a drop kick. And here comes Steve Corino. Wait a minute, and the Dragon Warrior takes him down. And here comes Wild Bill. And Wild Bill taking down the Dragon Warrior. And now Steve Corino and Wild Bill going at each other. And what a vicious shove by Wild Bill to Corino. And here comes the monster. And now the Dragon Warrior, rock bottom on Corino. The Dragon Warrior, the monster, spear on Wild Bill. The spear. And here comes Shawn Michaels. Wait a minute, Shawn Michaels throwing out the monster. And Wild Bill gets rid of Shawn Michaels. And the Dragon Warrior makes him pay the price. And Steve Corino gets rid of him completely. In an old cocky way. And here comes The Undertaker. Wait a minute. The Undertaker. Tombstone pile driver on Steve Corino. And here comes Billy Gunn. And Billy Gunn with the hole-in-one on The Undertaker. And now Corino gets one. And here comes Bryan Adams. And Billy Gunn taking every man down left and right. And now Bryan Adams taking advantage of Billy Gunn here. And The Undertaker takes him down. And here comes the Extreme Superstar. Wait a minute. The Undertaker chokeslams the Extreme Superstar out of the match. And there goes Billy Gunn. And Steve Corino gets rid of The Undertaker. And Bryan Adams makes him pay the price. And here comes Kurgan. Look out here. Kurgan taking down Bryan Adams. And here comes Adam Thompson. And Bryan Adams gets rid of Adam Thompson. And now Kurgan gets rid of Bryan Adams. And here comes Mr. Perfect. And now Mr. Perfect gets rid of Kurgan with authority. And here comes Steve Austin. Wait a minute. Look at this. Stone Cold Stunner. And Mr. Perfect is gone. And Stone Cold is a 2-time Royal Rumble winner. Here's your winner. And he's a 2-time Royal Rumble winner, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe me in the 44th episode of the Custom Wrestling Showdown. And have a good morning, guys.